starting tomorrow, I'm getting down to make the show that you want to see. Somehow a reboot in some sort of way. Starting tomorrow, my team, that's what we're focused on.
We'll be part of the focus group, man. Anything that you need, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the one and only Phil Moore.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Good to see you again, kid. Brian, great to meet you. How's it going?
So good. We are so excited to have you back. I feel like the last time we had you on was just like so much fun. And that's what we need in this world is more fun. And well, you bring the fun. So
I tell you what, right now, first of all, I just want to tell you the thing that I'm digging is the juxtaposition of your two backgrounds. Because like in one background, we got toys and we got dolls and we got Nickelodeon. And over here, Bruce Lee, I'm gonna kick your butt. And we got sports like, we're gonna crush it. So we're going
sometimes you gotta remind them.
Exactly. Let's have some fun after we crush it. That's kind of like what I'm feeling right now.
We're the best of both worlds.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that. That was really cool. I'm like, oh wow, that's just kind of like most of the time it's all normally just all one thing. Okay. So I like the blending.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. We planned that.
Yeah, we coordinated.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you did plan it because I don't think, like you're not going to go out and buy new crap just for, great podcast, but you're not going to go out and buy new crap for it, are you?
Lots of emails, FaceTiming, coordination.
So much.
You've already invested the money. You might as well go for it.
Yeah. We actually built the podcast around the stuff we have. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Totally.
Convenient like that.
There you go.
Yes. Well, Phil, we kind of wanted to start because we know, obviously, you're into some pretty amazing fandoms. And the last time we had you on was right before the new Batman film came out in theaters. So we wanted to know your thoughts on the new Batman film.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right. So I normally... If you notice, if anybody's ever been to any of my social media, I normally don't do like reviews on stuff because people get like so insanely passionate about it that they're rude sometimes, or like it's almost like you can have an opinion, but not you, Phil. You can't have an opinion. And I personally don't really care what people think. So to kind of go, oh, hey, come back and tell me what you think. So I don't really normally do this, but especially when I know that it may not be what the majority of the people kind of are feeling. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the fact that it was dark. I liked the way they did the whole deal with the Riddler. I liked the way that they, doubled down on the grittiness of the Nolan verse. But this really has nothing to do about the movie. This is my overall thing with like DC's Batman and the use of them. I'm tired of Batman on training wheels. I want prime time Batman.
Prime time
Batman.
Batman.
What I'm saying?
Yes.
I want prime time Batman. I love Batman Begins. Boom. The Dark Knight, a couple years later? Cool. Dark Knight Rises, he had stopped for 8 years. So he's rusty Batman. You know what I mean? In the Snyder films, he was grumpy old Batman. You know what I mean? It's like, this is year 2 Batman.
Right.
I want them to make a Batman movie that feels like they took it out of Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
He's full Batness. You know what I'm saying?
Full stride.
Yes.
Exactly. He's already learned what to do. He's figured out who he is. He's not struggling. He's got it. He's not tired of it. He's not done with it, but he's not like learning it. I want some Batman movies that are like Batman the Animated Series in his full battiness. That's where I am with this. It was good to see, but even though it was a year 2 movie and it was a totally different than the Nolan verse, I still felt like, as we all saw, he was kind of learning things. He was figuring stuff out. I'm like, okay, that's good, but like this movie just said, oh, I'm figuring out some new things. This one, oh, I'm learning this thing. I want prime time battiness. I want full frontal battings. That's what I want. I want full frontal batting. That's what I want now.
What a good answer, man.
That's where I am with it. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's very fair. And I don't think that that's controversial at all because it doesn't take away from the new film. It's just a preference, and you're allowed to have a preference. And who knows, because like you said, this is baby Batman. Maybe the next film maybe that's what we'll get. We don't know. We don't know what the gap in time is going to be. But I think that that's a very fair thing to want. And I feel like a lot of people agree with that too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's, and I think the last time I really felt that way about a really good Batman movie was maybe the first Michael Keaton one. And no matter what you think about Batman Forever, it was still, he wasn't Batman in training. It got a little comical and whimsical when they brought in Schumacher. It was before he took it all the way down the street with Batman and Robin. But it still was like, you know, it was still like prime time Batman. He wasn't learning Jack. He was just trying to figure out how to solve this particular dilemma that was the movie. I would love to see a street gritty version of prime time, full frontal, gimme full battiness.
All right.
Man.
Got it.
I love that. I mean, I think that a lot of Batman fans will agree that the Batman animated series is like top tier. I mean, especially for people of our generation, we're watching you on Nick Arcade, then we turn the channel, we get Batman animated series, and bringing that into, I wanted to ask a question. You brought up Batman animated series, Mark Hamill, the Joker. I saw one of your last tweets. I know that you are a Star Wars fan, and one of your last tweets was about Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni renewing your faith in a galaxy far, far away, which I wholeheartely agree. So let's nerd out for a second, a little bit more about Star Wars. What are your thoughts, man?
Okay, first of all,
Obi-Wan.
Okay, so let me tell you about, in my actual real natural for real life, I was married and then I was divorced, you know what I mean? And so sometimes you break up with somebody and then maybe you like run into them again and you've had time to like heal and you can sit down and you can go to Starbucks and you can have a cup of coffee without wanting to like Shawshank Redemption them. And then all of a sudden the life is back together, you know? And you are a couple aren't together, but you've had some reconciliation. You see, I actually said in one of my posts, for a while there, Star Wars and I were seeing other people. But Jon Favreau has rolled up in here and he said, he was like that family counselor. Now listen, you two, you need to sit down. We need to change some things. And then once we have evidence that the change is real and you're not just doing it for show, then maybe we can come back and become like, you know, together again. And that's what Filoni and Favreau has done for me. I love The Mandalorian. Wasn't that big of a fan of the Book of Boba Fett. More controversial because I never understood the hype of the Fett anyway. He's had if someone can look us up. He's had like in the original Star Wars trilogy, 8 lines or something like that. He was in the movie for a total of whatever amount of minutes. It was less than 10, you know? And yet this sort of cult following has developed about him. And great, you can like whatever you want. And that's fine. But like, you know, that's like me saying I like a sidekick character or a not main character. But for it to become the thing that it was, I never quite got it. So when Boba Fett, they talk about the Book of Boba Fett, I was like, you know, as long as they do it right. And when they introduced him in The Mandalorian, I was like, oh, that's why he's a badass. Then he got his own show and he's like, I just kind of want to sit down and talk about stuff. And I was like, what the cuss? You know, it was almost like you convinced me that there was reason. Everybody who thought Boba Fett was the badass, all of a sudden you introduce him in The Mandalorian and I go, I'm eating humble pie. Well, look, I got some stuck in my teeth. I stand corrected. Yes. And then when you give him his own show, it was like, nah, Phil, you were right. You know, the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were The Return of the Mandalorian.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I feel like they definitely did take a lot that they could have used for Boba Fett, but they were using it on this new character that they're trying to really push out there. So by making Boba Fett almost too badass and this one, it would kind of take away from Mandalorian a little bit or something. I think there's something going on there. They just want to cement this Mandalorian character and they kind of took away from Boba Fett a little bit.
Right, exactly. Sure. I love, of course, I geeked out over Ahsoka Tano's, you know, coming into it. What is the Katie Sackhoff character's name? I'm drawing a blank right now. But I love the fact that she was up in there. I'd say honestly, aside from the Book of Boba Fett aside from the Book of Boba Fett as an actual show, I am loving every single thing. And here's the thing that I think is most brilliant is they figured out a way to fix, to almost make what we may consider bad Star Wars movies look good. They make you kind of want to go back and look at them again because they've been they've been able to bridge the gap between the prequels and the sequels and the original trilogy, and they're slowly dropping in these little things that are threading them together, and it kind of makes you want to go back and go, that's right, that was the thing they did in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, with makes me want to vomit, but I'll go watch it now because I actually want to look at that point again. Oh snap, that was really cool. And I didn't throw up a little in my mouth this time.
I was going to say, so I believe it was the weekend before last, I was doing a convention in Richmond and I got to meet Giancarlo, who is one of my favorite people he was so kind. And obviously that's not the case with every single person you meet, but it makes you like the show even more, right? When you meet someone, you're like, you're so nice.
You're a nice person, yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to say he is a nice
That's really
person.
Cool. That's really
Wielder
cool.
of the dark saber.
I like it when you meet folks and they really, they really appreciate the fans. I really, I love that because, you can do a job and everything, but if the fans don't like your work, money talks. If the ratings aren't there, if the viewership's not there, then whatever streaming platform is on, they'll pull it. They're not going to just throw money after something that's like tanking. So and all of that comes from fans. Period. Period. Yeah. So it's cool to be good to the folks that actually keep you employed.
Something I always appreciated about Mark Hamill is I felt like he got it. I mean, I love Harrison Ford, arguably my favorite actor ever, but I really always appreciated that about Mark Hamill is he really appreciates the fans and he embraces it.
Mm-hmm. All right, give me another question. I'm gonna go turn on the light. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's cloudy here. It's cloudy here today in LA. Normally, the blinds open is enough, but it's not enough. So keep talking. Ask the question.
Clouds or smog?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, actually, we right now, I believe we're getting a video feed from RJ. We have a video that we're going to play, Phil. So let's get this video up from RJ. RJ, go ahead. If we can roll the footage, possibly, maybe. All right. Is it happening? What's happening with the Oh, we're getting beep boops. Beep boops. This is live. This is what happens when you're live. If the video doesn't play, that's fine. I could just let's try one more time.
Live.
One more time.
Dude, what was it going to be of? Do you know?
Yes, I do know.
Wait, it's spinning again.
It's okay. Oh, what is that? Okay. Anyway, so it was RJ City.
It sounds like AOL dial-up circa 1992.
56K. So it was RJ City from Space Camp. He wanted to thank you for our trip that you... Oh, wait. Is this the video with upside down? Oh, he's upside down. He's upside down.
On my way to Space Camp. It's exciting. I am excited to embark on this journey to, I believe, the final frontier. And my only regret is that I'm not doing it wearing a pair of British Knights. I really miss the sound when I'm in space. And my only question to you, Bill, is that if you had to go host another Nick show other than your own, obviously, what would it be?
Okay.
Wow, that was pretty cool. I kind of want to. I feel like I need to. I feel like to answer this question, I feel like I need to do the upside down Spider-Man. All right, well, RJ, in answer to your question, I think that if I had to host any other show, only because I toured with this guy on the Nick Live tour, it would have to be Guts. Do you have it? Only because it's the only other show that I think aired on Nickelodeon that had the room to handle my sort of energy. Because it's a show. You got to run around, you got to jump, you got to swim, you got to do stuff, you got to bounce on bungee cords. All right, hang on. Let me web down.
Okay.
Let's go to Mo for the rules. Mo.
Yeah, I have my Guts tattoo right here, Phil.
There we go. Take it away, Mo.
Aggro crag.
I love the aggro crag.
The aggro crag, yeah. The aggressive rock. So yeah, I would think it would be Guts. When we did the Nick Live tour together, which is we took Nick Arcade, Guts, and a few of games that they had on things like What Would You Do in Double Dare, and we did a live arena tour. I mean, not like not a theater tour. We played Madison Square Garden, the Staples Centers, the LA Forums. Wherever your local basketball team played, that's where we went. And so we also had to learn each other's show, because in the event of one of us getting sick or one of us not being able to do the show. So I really got to learn a lot about the games that they did on Guts. He got to learn a lot about the games on Nick Arcade. And it was just always fun. I mean, look, when Guts was shooting, Arcade wasn't shooting, but my son and I went there and we talked to the guys that worked there, and they hooked us up to the cords and let us climb the aggro crag while they were not shooting, just because I wanted to freaking do it.
So you got to climb the aggro crag?
Yes. Climb the aggro crag. Raced against my son. I think at the time he was like maybe 12 or 13, and he beat me because he didn't have old man legs like I did.
And you did it like Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr.? You got to do it with your son too?
Yeah, it was,
oh my God, what a dream.
That was so dope. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
wish.
cool, man.
I wish I could. But okay, so since it's been 30 years,
30 years.
Which is amazing.
This year was the 30th anniversary of the premiere Nick Arcade. Yeah.
Can I say you look exactly the same really quick, by the way? Like, I mean, you look incredible, man. I can't even believe it. Kyle Kenobi said the same thing on the comments. I mean,
both I appreciate it. Look, that's mom and dad.
Thank you, mom and dad. I think the
dad.
only thing that changed is now you have earbuds in. Like,
that's it. Yeah, I mean, look, and to be totally transparent, yes, I do drop a little color in the hair, but other than that, this is just me. There's no surgery, no nip and tuck, no nothing. I darken up the temples just a bit.
Whatever.
Hey, man, whatever you're doing, that's working.
But other than that, and the thing that I don't get is I do not get where the energy still comes from. It's like when I get in a room with like my friends and everything, like my friends, because you got that core, like I got the core four. We've known each other since we were like 14 years old. I go back home to Baltimore and I get with them and they're in the room and they're like, oh, let me tell you about my knee. The other one's like, oh, let me tell you about what's going on at work. The other one's like, oh man, the kids are now moved back in. I'm like, gonna go out to the bar and like dance a little bit. What's up?
It's like you're the human personification of a Red Bull. You're just
yeah. So
I bet that's part of the reason why you look so well, is because you have that energy and that spirit that keeps you young.
And well, here's the thing too. Nick, during the time I was at Nickelodeon, of course, you're always around kids and stuff. Kids will keep you young. Kids will keep you like having fun. When I was done with Nickelodeon, there was still, my son. Okay, so I'm always with him and his friends. Moved out to California, got divorced, met a young lady. She had girls that were around my son's age. So now I've increased my input of what was going on with a generation younger than me. And now that at times I'm like the head person, I'm the senior producer on a show, most of the people that I'm working with are like, in their 20s and 30s. They'll keep you up on things. They will make you go to the gym. There's a thing I saw on TikTok today. There's an actor, I forgot his name, but he was looking, and it was that thing where I'm not going to say it, but when they go to me, he goes, F, and then he gets up, and the caption at the bottom was like, I'm going to the gym, and he gets up and walks away. He goes, because I'm in a movie with Ryan Gosling. Like it makes you like, I'm not going to look bad on camera. Yeah. And so, if I'm going to be doing this, and a lot of the shows that I do are game shows now that I produce, and they have an energy to it, and the people that I work with have energy to them. So I just try to stay healthy so that I can do the thing that I love. Honestly, so I can do the thing that I love.
Right, and it's important. It's important. But what's been like an outstanding or outlasting memory that stuck with you from the past 30 years? Oh my gosh.
Wow. I mean, I don't think I can pick one in particular during the time of being at Nickelodeon. But if you want to encompass the entire 30 years, I think the thing that really, it's going to sound like corny as hell. But trust me, believe me, this is like for real. It is, I got a phone call and I was asked to make an appearance at like a gaming con. And then later on, like a Comic-Con. And I was like, this is weird. But then I talked to my buddy, Mark Summers. And then later on, I was talking just casually with Kel Mitchell, because we all kind of they've been doing it for years. They're like, we've been doing this for years. We would always show up and wonder where you were. And I was like, I had no idea that this 90s retro thing was that big. I knew it was a thing, but I never knew like I could walk into a con WandaCon, whatever, somebody, YesTheCon, anybody's gaming thing. And like as many people that can fit into the room will be there to have talks like we're having. I didn't know that. And it was humbling and it was overwhelming. And I got goosebumps and I almost wanted to cry to realize that the culture was like still there and people embraced it so much. People who weren't born during the time of 90s Knicks have found 90s Knicks and now they're fans. And that it blows my mind. And I always tell you this too about Nick Arcade, because Nick Arcade to me was the show that had no money for marketing. I don't know if we talked about this before.
A little bit, yeah.
The tech was so important. Like when I started doing these cons and I wanted to bring pictures, for people to autograph, just so I can autograph them. My friend who was helping me put my stuff together was like, dude, can you just give me like a press photo of you? Because everything I find is like all blurry. And I'm like, we never did a press photo shoot. You can find pictures of, Kirk Fogg with the aggro crag. You can find pictures of Mike and Mo together. There's pictures of Mark, Robin, and Harvey. There's Summer Sanders with Billy the Answerhead. There's no pictures of Phil doing anything that's still. Any picture you find is a screen grab because they never even did like a photo press thing with me because money had to go into the tech that ran the show. It was really for its day. It was really expensive because for its day it was revolutionary and it cost money to do it. So that's why I'm blown away. Going to my first con.
I think it's still never too late to do the photo shoot. Let's do the photo shoot,
I mean, you look the same.
Listen, I'll put my hair in a high top fade and put on a really ugly shirt, okay?
We love it.
I love it. Speaking of ugly, I was going to ask you, I mean, you were talking about the culture, and I imagine that people come with all sorts of great outfits and everything. I mean, the nostalgia, I do think that 90s was that's like peak humanity right there. So what are some trends from the 90s that you would like to make a comeback? My vote's Jenko jeans. Your thoughts?
Jenko jeans. The other thing I like, I know we were talking about the British Knights, but seriously, somebody please, I forgot what the brand who made the shoe. Remember the tennis shoe that had a little tennis ball and you pump it up?
Oh yeah, the pump.
The pumps.
The pump. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was like, for those that don't know, you can look it up. It was like, if you ever got like blood pressure, it's for your feet. I got to play ball. I'm going to pump it up. Oh, sure. You don't play any better, but your ankles are purple. And that's always a thing. I love those shoes. The other thing I liked was, as I like to affectionately call it, the shoulder pads. Everybody had the things with the shoulder pads. Your jackets, your shirts, whatever. And the pleated pants, the skinny waist. And you get it right here. Not MC Hammer pants. MC Hammer was trying to create his own thing, so he took it to the next level. But like regular clothing, had a little skinny belt, little puff right here, like where your thighs are. Then boom, it comes down to the bottom with a cuff down there. The most comfortable pants. Those are Thanksgiving pants. You could eat all day because it had room. It would puff out. It was like Jiffy Puff popcorn. You put it on the stove and then it go puff, puff, puff.
Maternity pants.
The pleats had, so it would look nice and cool and it would fit your body nice. And then all of a sudden the pleats would go like, there's some room, yo. There's some room.
Let's bring it back. That sounds amazing.
The pleats. Yeah. Wow. Oh, good call. Good call.
Yeah. So those are two things, man. We could bring back something. Now, the pump shoes and the pleated pants, skinny waist, cuff at the bottom.
Some slap bracelets, maybe. I don't know.
And some shoulder pads. Yeah,
shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads.
What I would like to see come back in fashion, and I know it's like stereotypical, they say with like Canadians, like the Canadian tuxedo, but I would like to see more denim on denim. I know that maybe was pretty big. We can have the shoulder pads in the denim. I don't care. I just want to look like Britney
pleated
Spears
denim. Pleated denim.
I'm into it.
Look, I got the. Excuse me, I'm belching. I got the ultimate outfit for you because I've actually worn this.
Go ahead.
I've had a pair of the denim pleated pants. And Nickelodeon gave some of us these really cool embroidered jackets. On the back, it had the Nickelodeon blimp with all the little things going out of it. And then they embroidered our name on it. It was full denim. The denims didn't match. The denim at the top was dark with a little bit of shoulder padding in it. The denim on the back with the pleats that go like Jiffy Pop, that was a little bit darker. I would rock them bad boys with a pair of BKs. Hell yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I wore that.
See you, Phil. I see you, Phil.
The next convention you do, Phil, I say you rock that outfit. Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm into it. Well, I got my slime shirt today. I figured this is the one time I can wear a shirt that looks like slime, right?
First of all, that is the most unique slime shirt I've ever seen. It's the perfect slime shirt,
right?
because like it's got the slime dripping.
Yeah,
you got post naval drip right there.
You got it. Drip.
It's like I sneeze.
Slime lactation.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. That is a great. Absolutely great show. Fantastic. Good, good call on the originality.
I've never worn it before. It's been in my closet for like 8 years, and tonight was the night. So.
I would have been upset if you didn't wear it, to be honest.
Nice. It's funny. I had a shirt that I was gonna wear. It's a black Nickelodeon shirt, and it's got all of the Nicktoons on it. But it's a cloudy day, but it's kind of a warm day here in LA, and it's long sleeve. And I'm like, I need to be a little calm.
You gotta breathe.
No. Next time.
I move too much. I move around too much. Yeah.
Well, we wanted to know, Phil, did you ever have the opportunity to meet, I think it was hosts, I'm not sure if it was one or two, of the Spanish version of the show, which was Zona de Juego. Is that how you pronounce it? Zona de Juego. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I don't know. Me speaking Anglais. I don't know. I've never had a chance to meet any of the hosts that did the other things. I've seen them. They're very, very funny. Only because it's interesting watching somebody kind of do you, and then you can understand them, which makes me think, well, boy, that's what I sound like in English. You know, it's me being me, but we can't understand that guy. Kudos to them. It's always, what is that? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yes.
I always thought that there was a show that I got to a point in Nickelodeon before, the decade was up, where I was, pitching show ideas to them. And in the back of my mind, I always said, because watching what they did with Global Guts, I always said, I actually want to hire a good host. That's first and foremost, a good host. But it would be a plus if they could speak at least one other language, because then you could have the same face speaking a couple of languages. That was always in my mind. I would love, and then we just pay the person double the money. Okay, look, we're gonna do 20 episodes. 10 will be in English. 10 will be in insert language. And then you can use the same person, because it is fun to see. It's not just Nick Arcade. There's another version of Family Feud. There's another version of Wheel of Fortune with a different host. But wouldn't it be cool though to see, Steve Harvey speaking Spanish, or Steve Harvey, speaking French, because he could,
Yeah.
Now we want to talk about shoulder pads and fashion. That man.
So if you could have the same person, speaking another language, to me that would be like the extra.
I love it.
I like that. So it's pretty awesome that Nick Arcade's now streaming. You said that there's a new generation that's watching it now. Do you hear a lot from them? Are they binge watching it? Because I don't know if you guys talked about this last time you were on. I imagine that you got to get asked a lot. Are they trying to bring back a different sort of version of it? Because there are all these new kids that are watching it and like, this is so awesome. Why don't we have something like this? So are you hearing a lot from the young fans?
No, I'm hearing that from the OG fans. The OG fans are the ones that keep talking about, I'd love to bring it back. And I think because, and this is the answer that nobody really wants to hear, because I've looked into it. At one point I tried to kickstart it and I realized what the problem was. So I think I feel in a way a little bit like George Lucas, Star Wars now again, where he said he went back and he did the special editions because the technology didn't exist to do what he really wanted. So I kind of walked away from a Nick Arcade reboot that I tried to do about 6 years ago, because I went, no, the technology doesn't exist to do what I want. And here is why I think the OG people want it, because it's nostalgia for them, and it's what they remember. It's what they grew up with. But people who are just finding the show, they like it. But the big thing the big reason why I backed off on trying to bring it back until we can figure something out is this. The hook of Nick Arcade was, at the end, when you went to the video zone, you were doing something that you could never do outside of the show. But nowadays, we can get off here, you put your little white thing on, and bam, you're in there. You're in the metaverse, you know? So the idea of like, oh, wow, let's do that show isn't an alluring thing to someone who is just finding the show that is like younger, because they can do that anyway. It's fun to watch. Wow, they did something sort of like this back in the 90s. That was ahead of its time. That was really fun. But do I want to like, let's do that? No, because I got better in this thing I put on my face and play games. They've got better. So if there's ever going to be, and this is the answer that most of the OG people don't like to hear, just like Nick Arcade had to invent a technology in order to make the show work, something outside what already exists in the world of like Oculus and Meta has to be invented so that the show, whatever new version of it, becomes something that you can't do at home. That's really, if you really think about it, we just played video games and it was a trivia show. Think about it. Until you got to the video zone, we just played regular video games and it was a trivia show. It was that aspect of doing something that you could never do at home. That's what set it apart.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like that's certainly an interesting perspective. I mean, to me, I have to wonder, I think a lot of it is the team aspect and the competitive aspect, which, yeah, sure. Like as a trivia host, Brian and I both do host trivia. So I understand the competition thing. But for me, getting to compete against another team and then also having the looming thing over like, who's going to win? Do you get to actually compete in the final round? To me, that would be enough. But I do see what you're saying as.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling, I've looked at this with talking to various networks and things of that sort. And that's the thing. If Oculus hadn't come out and we tried to reboot the show, I think it would have been a huge hit. But right now it's kind of like you can do better an individual can do better at home, you know?
But they don't have Phil Moore. They don't
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Sure.
They got a cash prize and it's on TV and like an actual channel. Yeah.
Well, listen, I just want you to know, look, I'm not saying that to be discouraging because I mean, I have a production company and I'm teamed up with a tech company, and we are now that I'm have a little break from the show I just wrapped on yesterday. First and foremost, tomorrow morning we're starting the meetings again to begin to figure out how we could bring some form of technology based on what's out there and improve upon it to make it something unique. Because honestly, there is how you feel, but then there's also what the business side of it is. And for a moment there, just a moment, you heard Phil's business side, because I've gone into meetings and I've talked to networks and I've sat around with executives and we've had these discussions. I've talked with tech people and what they're willing to invest in and what they're looking for and what would have to be the difference. And I may not necessarily agree with it, but at the same time, it does make sense. No one's saying anything stupid. They're saying things that actually make sense. And so it's like if you said you wanted a green shirt and I showed you the most badass yellow shirt in the world, yeah, that's a really cool yellow shirt, no doubt it. But I want a green shirt. Yeah. And so that's kind of like where the business side is coming from. The business side is going, yeah, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Phil, great. But here's what we're looking for.
Totally understand that. I still say, I mean, we got to do some like crowdsourced, like we need to get people thinking of ideas. We need people at Meta working on this. We got to take this to Netflix and find a way, because everything you're saying is right. Like you said, they're not saying anything wrong. But there's such a strong pull there to think, oh man, there's got to be a way that we can figure this out with a prize to be able to have it aired. We could put it on Twitch or something and said something. Yeah.
Something. And don't get me wrong, we're working on it. Like seriously, we're working on it. I'm telling you that I set up there and I told everybody, okay, look, I wrap on a Wednesday. I've got a bunch of interview things to do on Thursday. Friday morning, let's get down to business.
To the feet. I'm sorry. I had to finish it. That's my brain. Sorry, that's my brain.
That's your brain. That's okay.
We can do Mulan sing along. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, she'll put us all to shame.
So that's we're back at it again. I've got a little bit of time here before my next gig. And I told my team that they've got me 100% to figure this out, because I agree. there's got to be a way to do this. There's got to be something there. We got some really cool, talented brainiacs, and also really talented, just creative folk. And we're gonna put everything and stir the pot and see what we get.
It's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can help, but if there is a way, please let me know.
You let us know.
I'll be part of the meetings. I'll donate my time.
Yes, whatever you need.
Because listen, I gotta tell you, folks, I am one of these people. You know, sometimes you meet celebrities and they go, "Okay, look, that was the past. I've moved on and done whatever." It is the thing to me that ended prematurely. See, it was not like it's not like the show had what I called official closure. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's some shows they go on too long and you wish they would end, and when they end, they stink. Then there's some shows, like, for example, Star Trek: The Next Generation. They want to end on a high, even though people want to see more. Nope, we're stopping after 7. Boom. And so they felt that they had done what they wanted, and it had its own unique sort of like satisfying end. We were sort of cut off a little bit. We were all set for a 3rd season. Did I tell you about the idea of a 3rd season episode that I wanted to do with the contestants?
I think you did, but you can please. I'm not sure whether Brian heard it, so
let's hear it.
Let's hear it. An idea that I pitched that was going to happen had Nick Arcade had a 3rd season was we'd have an episode of Nick Arcade. You know, we had crossovers. We had the Clarissa Explains It All on there. We had Salute Your Shorts on there. We had Welcome Fresh. We had people from other shows on there. So I wanted to have an episode where we'd have on one team Mark Summers and Summer Sanders. On the other team, Kurt Fogg and Michael O'Malley. And it would be Summers versus the boys on an episode of all hosts Nick Arcade.
Oh, I love that.
Well, when the show inevitably comes back, there you go.
That's got to be part of the pilot right there.
That's the premiere episode.
You know, it's true. That would be really cool.
That'd be a cool pilot.
We all still talk. We all still hang out. We all still have fun. That would be, you know what? That would be a special. No, we start out bringing on some people who grew up watching the show. Then we just start doing regular episodes with just a whole bunch of regular folk. And then we announce it. Boom. Hey, boom. If you like Nick Arcade, boom. We've had the OG episode. Boom. We had the new G episode. Boom. But how about the host episode?
Yo, I'm so excited.
Oh, we need to crowdfund this, man. This needs to happen.
You thought Nick Arcade was turned off? No, it was just on pause. You know?
Dude, you got it figured out, bro.
And I was gonna say I look really good in both red and yellow, so I'm available for each one. So, yeah,
we'll make a little red shirt, a yellow shirt with the slime hanging.
Oh!
Now you're just breaking her heart, Phil.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So a couple more questions before we get to our game. One of the things I wanted to ask you about was I don't know, how familiar are you with WWE superstar Xavier Woods and his absolute love for Nick Arcade?
Oh, yeah. He's hit me up a few times, like how he wants to be the next host of Nick Arcade. That's all he wanted to do. It's if anything else in the world, any sort of Nick Arcade reboot. Much love to you, Phil, but I want to host the thing. And he's a big guy, so who am I arguing?
He can be a contestant.
But and there's a lot of people that I've met that are just as passionate. People who are in the industry, people who are hosts, people who do acting, and they've always said, if I had a chance to have a show outside of, like, if you're actors always talk about they'd like to do a sitcom or a drama or a movie or something. But when I run into people who are hosts, people who like want to do stuff on E-Entertainment, people who want to do things on Twitch, they always come back to, but like, if I could really just host any show, it would be Nick Arcade, especially when I talk to people in the Twitch culture. That's,
But that has to be incredibly flattering too, knowing that you did it so right that it's like almost like foolproof. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't know if I did it all right, because as we talked the last time, Brian, you missed it. Season 1, oh my gosh, I was so green. As my first TV thing, I was like, I would say things wrong. I wake up in the night with chills every now and then going, is that the Robotnik?
I do the same thing. It's part of the process.
On TV, I said Dr. Roboneck. I'm really sorry. By
It's so true. It'll keep you up at night.
It'll
Just
keep it. But
thinking-
of the mistakes you made. By the time I got to season 2, I was really rolling. And then something we talked about before was the other show I hosted on Nickelodeon toward the end of the decade was You're On. By the time I got to You're On, I was such a seasoned pro. I was so smooth at it. I wish Nick Arcade had come back, because then I really could have had fun just as a host, because I wasn't trying to remember this and where do I stand and where do I look. You know, between Nick Arcade and You're On, I'd had a good 7 years to grow as just professionally, and I knew what I was doing. So now I'm really just having fun with the material because I'm not thinking about the process. So that would have been great. But I love the fact that there's a line of people that would love to do the show. Look, I don't know if a network would want me to host it again. I would darn sure it'd be the executive producer of it, and it would be a situation where whoever was the host, if it wasn't me, would have to embody the spirit of whatever the original show was, whatever I brought to it. You don't have to imitate me, but you've got to come with that same sort of spirit. You've got to love the contestants. You've got to have the enthusiasm for the show. You've got to be able to have fun and think and be able to just be ad lib a little bit. You know what I mean? There's so many things that I did on the show that wasn't scripted, and you just got to go with it and have fun. You can't be afraid of that. You just got to be in that moment each and every second of shooting.
Okay, so I have a pitch for you. I just came up with this. Maybe this is a thing that's been done, but okay, I'm pitching you a show since I know you also do production, writing, all of that stuff too. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember somewhere around the same time, I want to say it was more 2000s, there was a show on MTV called Wanna Be a VJ. Do you remember that? Where they were
Yeah, very vaguely, yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So it was a competition where it was hosted by, VJs on MTV, and people would come in, they would have to do different things, and inevitably one of them got a position being a VJ. Mm-hmm. You should host a show for people that want to be the next host of a show similar to Nick Arcade. And you could be the host, and you can help, the next generation of people that want to be, a host of a TV show. Maybe there's a reality show in there somewhere.
I like that idea. I like that idea. But again, this is one of those things where time has sort of encroached. Just like I said about the technology, there used to be a time where I think that would have been, hey, you know what, kid, I'm taking that to the network right now. Let's go in. Let's get together. We'll set up a meeting. We'll fly you in, and we'll go in and pitch it.
I'm available.
But we live in a world now in which some of the most famous people that we know are content creators who've learned how to do it through the advent of social media. There are people right now who can fill up a room with more people because of who they're known, because of being known on TikTok or Instagram than I could from having hosted a national television show. So it's one of those things where, if you can do it on your own at home.
Fair, but I there's something fun about
it. Is something
watching,
there. It is something there.
Watching a competition, especially there's so many different streaming services, from Netflix to YouTube, and even to Twitch. So who knows?
Yeah. You know what would be the hook? The hook would be what they would do. It would be great if one episode was about how would you host on a red carpet. The next one would be how would you host something serious like news. The next one would be how would you host something like, you know what I mean? Because there's so many different kinds of hosts.
Yep.
And not all hosts can put on the same hat. And step in and do, you're hosting a comedy event like the Oscars. Oops, did I say Oscars? But you're hosting an event where you have to be the comedic talent while you're talking.
Or the prompter goes out, or something happens with the cue cards,
exactly.
There's levels to this. There's levels to this.
I told you when we had our talk before about how I even got into it. I was doing audience warm up, and there was an accident, and I used to do warm up for Let's Make a Deal, and one of the Zonk prizes was an elephant. Elephant took a dump on the stage, and then we had to stall for 20 minutes while they cleaned up the dung. And I had already done all my bits, I had done all my material, and then I had to fill. Phil had to fill, and that right there in itself, like you said, improv. What happens when the prompter goes out? You've got to keep going despite your safety net being gone. So yeah, there is something really. That's a great idea. Great idea.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
All right. We'll talk. Well, speaking of games, we have the game for you. This is the game of Would You Rather, and there is no wrong answers. Whatever answer you pick is the correct answer.
I love that kind of game show. Yes,
Yay.
I hope I can get some British Knights.
We have some British Knights, a boombox, and
Space Camp.
Yeah, Space Camp. I love it. All right, so we're gonna bring up the first one. So, Phil, would you rather? Dun, 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 pause for graphic. This is
graphics are coming. Graphics are coming onto the screen.
Here it is. Yeah. Okay, I love that you're doing the song. Okay, would you rather always have to wear a Geordie LaForge Vision visor, or always wear a 90s style print T-shirt?
Always wear a 90s style printy shirt. Listen, the 90s, those crazy colors. Look, it's old now, but back in the day, oh my gosh, you could jog at night and never get hit. It was a wonderful thing. The Geordie visor. Look, we've gone through this already coming out of pandemic. Half your face covered sucks. Face covered sucks. You know, you can't see if somebody's really lying with that visor on. You can't tell if they're rolling their eyes at you.
Scene's
with that
important.
Visor on. Exactly. So yeah, boom. Give me that bright color shirt. I'll go jogging at night.
Boom, it's yours. All right,
Brian.
Brian.
We got a next one here. Okay, yes. Be animated into an episode of SpongeBob, or be animated into an episode of Hey Arnold.
Be animated into an episode of SpongeBob. Because look, Hey Arnold, yeah, they put them in like crazy fun things and stuff, but it's kind of set in like the real world and how the physics of the real world sort of function the same way. Get me in some place that's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Put me under the sea, wrong channel. Put me in SpongeBob's world. Put me down there where physics don't matter. You can cook on a grill with fire underwater. I want to go.
Okay, and maybe you can find out what is the thing they always want to find out, the secret ingredient of the patties.
Patty sauce. That's right. Yeah.
So you find out, you let us know.
I can tell you what it is. I know what it is.
What is it?
It's grind up shrimp. I don't know. I don't know.
That's probably a good guess.
Interesting.
Probably a good guess.
Okay. Good choice.
All
right.
That. Good answer.
Here's the next one. Good answer. All right. Would you rather, have to ride the Transformers 3D ride 10 times in a row, or ride E.T. 30 times in a row?
Wow. I think this one I'm sort of disqualified for, because I think I actually may have ridden E.T. almost 30 times in a row. Oh
my goodness.
Because, okay. All right, so there's a story with every answer. Okay, so working at Universal, when we shot the show, we kind of got carte blanche on riding the rides. And because we were like local celebrities, they were really cool about letting us backdoor in on the ride. So we never had to wait in line and stuff. And there were times where we would go ride. There was one time I can tell you for sure, I rode Back to the Future like 10 times in a row. It was just like, got off, walked around, got on, just go. I mean, I can quote, I'm trapped like a rat in my own office. There's no way I can get to the DeLorean. But you, my time traveling volunteers, you and you and you. Yes, on the other side of them. I mean, it's like, I
missed it so much.
So many times.
So, Phil, do you remember the Alfred Hitchcock experience that used to be at?
Yes, I remember it there, but I didn't do it much because most of the time when I did stuff, it was with my son who was little at the time, and I didn't want to scare him with Alfred Hitchcock.
So I have to say, this is a memory that I remember, and I could be remembering it wrong, but there was a time I went on the Alfred Hitchcock experience, and you were in line before me. So I would have been in, maybe 3rd or 4th grade at the time.
Okay.
So I just remember, I'm pretty certain it was you, because everyone was like super excited that you were in the waiting area. So,
cool. Then it probably happened.
Yes.
By the way, little trivia for you. You want some real good trivia here?
Yes.
Does anyone remember Daryl Hammond from SNL?
Of course.
He was the voice of E.T. the Ride at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida. Yep.
Get the hell out of here.
He did impressions. Daryl Hammond was an impressionist. Even before, when he was doing straight stand-up, he was a comic that would go up and just do a slew of voices, spot on. Then he got hooked up with the gig on SNL, and the rest, as they say, is history. But when he was just a club-to-club comic living in Orlando, Daryl Hammond did the voice of E.T.
So cool.
I had no
that.
idea.
And we were friends.
love
We
that.
lived in Orlando. You know, he's from there. I was from there. So yeah.
Okay.
I love
Now,
that. He's a man.
next time I ride the ride, I'm gonna be like, I know that voice. I know that voice. All right, Brian, next one.
Okay. Would you rather get slimed every time you say, I don't know, or get slimed every time you're tempted to sing along to the radio?
Ooh, I would say get slimed every time I say I don't know, because I try not to say that too much. But I sing all the freaking time.
Yeah, well.
I would just be one big green mess. Oh my gosh. I would just be squishy all the time if it was the sing along on the radio. I would squish when I walk, talk, laid down. I don't want to live my life in squishy drawers. No, I would it would be slimed every time you say I don't know, because as a producer you try to have the answers. So
very true. Okay,
I
good
like
answer.
that.
Good answer. All right, here's the next one. Would you rather have I'll wait for the graphic. Okay. Have an Olmec alarm clock that wakes you up every day at 6 a.m. or be told a scary story by the Midnight Society every night before bed?
Have Olmec wake me up. This is a really interesting story because number one, people don't hate, but there you go.
Beware of the temple guards as they may inhabit the trees.
Nice. Okay, so I've actually said before this question was even written, oh, look at you. Oh, you got the coolest toys.
I know.
I feel like Joker. Where did she get those wonderful toys? But I've actually said to friends of mine like 1,000 times, I want a celebrity alarm clock where you could choose who you want to wake up to. So like, let's say one day you set it to James Brown. It's time to get up. Hey. You know,
get up.
Right in there to get up, get on up. That's
a man's world.
You know, so OMAC would fit right in there. Batman alarm clock. I said, it may not be the time you want to get up, but it's the time you need to get up. You know, so I've always said I want an alarm clock that did sort of that thing. So OMAC would fit perfectly into that. Little bit of personal thing about Phil. I'm not really a big scary movie kind of guy. I think it might be because for me,
same here.
I grew up as an only child. So for a lot of times I was a latchkey kid waiting for mom and dad to come home. And so scary stuff, spooky stuff, when it's not daylight saving time and getting dark and it's only like 6:30, 7 o'clock, but mom and dad haven't gotten home yet. I'm in the big old spooky house by myself.
You ain't trying to watch Poltergeist?
I'm trying to do that. No. Halloween? No. How about Valentine's Day or something? But get that out of here.
Ooh,
That's so fun. I was the same, man. I had a very religious mother. So anything that was kind of weird, she was like, that's no good. And got it in my head. I saw a clip of The Exorcist and that was in my head for years. That was like the source of my nightmares and why I couldn't fall asleep for years.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
I said, like I said, when it got dark in the house, big old house by myself, waiting for parents to get home, I didn't need that. So, and it's kind of like that to this day. Like even now, I've watched some things, but there are times when my son will go, "Hey, Dad, did you see whatever?" I said, "No, I got to watch it on Saturday." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I don't get home from the studio until like 8." I'm not watching it in a house while it's dark. I'll watch it on Saturday at like 11 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. At noon. At noon on a Saturday.
Right.
All right, we got 2 more. All right, Brian, you're up.
All right. Would you rather be cast as a Mandalorian or voice the Riddler in a Batman animated series?
That's
a tough
interesting. Well, you know what? Hold on. You know what? Maybe not so tough. I think I know what the answer to that one is. I think the answer to that one is be cast as the Riddler, because this past Halloween, the entire family got together and my stepdaughter had the brilliant idea of all of us dressing like DC villains. And so the DC villain of my choice was the Riddler.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I actually dressed as the Riddler. Oh,
that is correct.
Emails coming. But that's me right there. So the Riddler, because I seen the already done did it.
That is correct. Very nice.
Enough.
That is correct.
Fair enough. All right. So we have one final Would You Rather. And since we know you're from Baltimore, I know these are Baltimore staples. I've never been there and I could be totally wrong. But would you rather enter a burger cookie eating competition or enter a Smith Island cake eating competition?
I think the burger eating competition. Because number one, I like chocolate. Number two, I like taking big bites out of things, and you can't really take a big bite, you know what I mean? But you take that thing, you put it halfway. I'm the guy, like when I was a kid, that would get yelled at, boy, ain't going nowhere. You can take smaller bites. Mm-hmm. You know, you would think I had siblings, because I know people have siblings talk about you have to eat fast because your siblings go over and take your stuff. I was an only child, but I was like, I don't know. You take it. And also, here's a little personal Phil thing. You see how they're stacked? When I eat them, you have to flip it over so it's chocolate side down on the tongue.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Mic drop.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm an only child too. So from one only child to another, I'm with you. I'm also a very fast eater. So
when I eat donuts, people look at me eat donuts. Like seriously, no joke. You take a regular chocolate donut and people look at me because I will turn it upside down so that when I bite it, it's chocolate on tongue first. Try it.
Okay.
Give it a try.
It's a whole new world.
Turn it upside down. No matter what the icing is. If you like the white icing, the pink icing, whatever, turn it upside down. Eat it like that so that it's icing on the tongue.
Sound logic to me. Okay, I like that.
Because I'm like, the icing is going up to the part that can't really absorb the taste. It gets it residually.
I thought that, I've thought about this before, but I kind of let it slide and forgot about it. Now you're why don't we do that more?
Why don't we?
It all mixes up in your mouth, but like start it there and then squish it around. Start it from the very beginning. Get full icing, full contact icing.
Whoa.
See, now you gave me a lot to think about.
I know. And that's been Phil Moore's PSA about eating upside down. There you go.
And now you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah. 90s nostalgia completes.
We have completed the 90s nostalgia trifecta. And
I love it.
Phil, you win a trip to space camp.
All right. Give me them Reeboks with the pump. Give me them shoes with the pump. Give me those blue ankles.
Oh my God.
Little shoulder pads. Shoulder pads. Some blue ankles.
Well, Phil, before we do let you go, thank you again so much. I mean, this is you're such a joy. You bring such a wonderful, positive energy to, a world when things aren't always fantastic. You make things fantastic.
Generosity is spirit.
I bounce off of what I'm fed. So, it's just, we're boomeranging back and forth here. So,
fair enough. And we're feeding you cookies upside down. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Icing side down. You know what? I like to do that with cake, but it doesn't really work because the cake falls apart.
Oh, yeah.
But
at least you tried it. So now we don't have to.
I tried, got in trouble, had to clean up the floor.
At least you cleaned up. So before we let you go, any final thoughts you want to leave us with here today?
Hey, listen, don't be strangers. Nothing really is going on. Like I said, I'm actually going into not an official vacation, but I've been very fortunate enough to just keep working. And I realized that from my partners that, hey man, you got to take a moment from making everybody else's shows and let's get back to doing yours. So I'm looking forward to doing that, spending some time with the family. I wanted to catch up and hook up with folks like you, which is why I had sort of like my junk of the day, because it's always important to stay in touch and to reach out and just reconnect with old friends and chit and chat about stuff. I always love doing that. So yeah, nothing new to say. You're kind of catching me on the sit back and relax. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch Moon Knight.
It's so good. Oh my God. It's so good.
I haven't watched it yet.
Moon Knight when we get down there. As a matter of fact, I was sitting there kind of going, man, will the time Herb get us? We have this interview. I got to watch Moon because I don't want to start and stop. I want to watch it. I want to watch it straight through without having to get up.
I know. But my only criticism is they only give you one episode. That's it. They're like, here's a nibble. Here's a little nibble. But
you know what you sound like? You sound like a person who's become indoctrinated by the streaming world. Because back in my day, we had to wait a whole week for an episode. When there was a season cliffhanger, we had to wait the whole. See, I'm sounding like
you didn't see it the first time. You had to wait for the rerun.
So in a weird sort of way, I know, but at the same time, I was like, I've been there, done that.
I'm only saying that because that's how good it is.
Whoa. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Looking for right.
You're gonna love it, and please message me after and let me know what you think. Because
all right, for real, I will. I guess
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt it, so and then again, we don't have to rush off. If we're done, we're done. But I wanted to wait until I cleared off my calendar of stuff to do today. Like this is like okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Honestly, when we finish, I'm gonna go pee.
Okay.
Because I have to.
Okay. Important.
All right. I have food in the kitchen waiting, so I'm gonna make
Yum.
me get the food, and then I'm going to hit play. I've got my Sony sound bar with the subwoofer cranked up to 11.
Oh, you're ready.
And it's Moon Knight time.
It's Moon Knight time. It's Moon Knight time. And I mean,
Enjoy,
Disney,
brother.
I hope you heard that pitch because it's Moon Knight time. Before we do let you go and enjoy the show, because you're going to just absolutely love it, we're going to go over our upcoming guests that we have coming up in April, because, oh my gosh, tomorrow is April. So tomorrow.
John Snyder. Oh my gosh.
I love that reaction.
AKA Paul Kent. Are you kidding me?
He's amazing. I'm so excited. Wow. I know. It's all happening. And then next Tuesday, we have Gary Puckett from the Union Gap. Next Thursday, we have Dee Wallace from E.T. We'll have to ask her about Daryl Hannah. Maybe she might know.
Oh my gosh, Elliot.
Wait, now I have my E.T. tattoo. And then the following Tuesday, Casey Jost from Practical Jokers. We also have Kevin Mellon, David Cook from American Idol, David Sobolov. We have Felix. We also have Jason Marsden from Goofy Movie coming up. We have John Kazir from Tales from the Crypt. Oh my gosh, so many good things.
I feel like a schlub of these like incredibly talented folks.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you?
You are far from a schlub. And if you are, you're our schlub. We love you.
Yeah. That's a
Brian,
nice shirt too, by the way. I love that shirt, brother.
Well, I schlub you too. It's like, oh yeah, boom,
schlub you.
boom. OG original game. I thought I wear it for the day.
Love it. I love it.
But again, kudos to your slime shirt. Most original Nickelodeon shirt I've ever seen.
I try.
Very clever.
But like I said, I look better in red. Brian, before we let you go, anything you want to plug?
I have Shamrock Comedy Club show with Brett Ernst from Cobra Kai. That's coming up on April 18th in Fort Lauderdale at the Field. Shamrock Comedy Club, Mental Reps Podcast. Look us up on all the social medias and YouTube and all that good stuff. That's about it. Anything else you can find out.
Cool.
Perfect.
And for me, just follow me on my social media. Listen, starting tomorrow, I'm getting down to make the show that you want to see. Somehow a reboot in some sort of way. Starting tomorrow, my team, that's what we're focused on.
We'll be part of the focus group, man. Anything that you need, dude.
Yes.
Just toss me a little associate producer cred, just just a little AP action. We'll call it even.
You have my information, Phil. You need me. I'm there.
You got it.
On the next flight.
What a pleasure, man.
This has been
a pleasure meeting
fun.
you, Brian. So much pleasure seeing you. Always fun talking to you, kid. And just like you contacting me out of the blue anytime. Just anytime.
You're so sweet. Well,
sweetheart,
thank
man.
you. Well,
right,
until we meet again, I guess tomorrow, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your night. Be like Phil and go watch Moon Knight. And we'll see you guys real soon. Bye, everybody.